Look at this. Sit down, keep feet up, and you're flying. Woo! Twister, so good. Not here. Here. It's not good. Hey guys, what's up? It's Pascale with the Art of Adventure, bright and early. Mo's at the studio today. I'm gonna do a story on that on another day, but today I was thinking if there was one city in the state of Florida where I had a whole day to do the kind of adventures that I want to do, where would I go? This is a good one, guys. Stay tuned.
It can be hard to plan for multiple adventures in one day. Mo and I laugh about it. Whether we are gone for one day or 1 week, we seem to have the same amount of gear in the Jeep. It's Florida, and you have to be prepared for everything. During rainy season, you also have to be ready to pivot. That's one reason I chose this part of Florida for today's adventure. If there's a bust, you can always change things up and still have a blast.
Hey guys, so if you know me well, you may have guessed that the city I chose to spend all day adventuring today is Ocala or thereabouts Ocala. So first stop, Santos, one of my most favorite bike trails, parks, systems in the whole state. So I'm pretty excited about getting to start things here. Here we go.
The first thing to do when you're traveling for multiple adventures is secure your gear.
You have to make sure you have solid lock systems for everything. So take a look at my description below, and I'm gonna have all the information about locks for the bike, for the boards, because you know what, you work hard for your gear, you don't want anyone to jack it, and I've had stuff jacked, so I've done all the research, I've got the best of the best, so take a look in the description, I've got that info in there.
One of the reasons I love to ride mountain bikes at Santos is because it has something for all skill levels, and it allows you to progress. There's a pump track and bike skills area right there at the main parking lot. I usually warm up here and then hit the trails. I like to do 5 or 6 miles of mountain biking before I try anything over at the big skills park in the Vortex area. On this day, I rode Pine Tree to Dr. Ruth to Bunny. There's lots of flow on these trails and little to no climbing. Perfect for getting those legs warmed up. And it might be pretty obvious why I need to warm up before hitting anything more technical.
Whoa. Why is that end so freaky?
There are more than 80 miles of trails in the Santos system. Many are for mountain biking and hiking, and some are specific for these guys. Yes, many people know Ocala as horse country, and it's pretty obvious horses are a major part of the culture around here. If your adventurer spirit is into it, you can also ride on a guided horse tour through these trails. Man, I love this part of Florida. Okay, back to the trails. Vortex is another fun spot inside the Santos trail system. You can really test your skills here. There are a series of jump lines that allow you to progress one by one. One of my favorite new features is a flow line called Indigo Flow. It starts with a steep drop in and then pulls the rider through a series of jumps. There is a lower line of Indigo Flow just across the grassy field. It was a bit overgrown on this day, and there were some sketchy ruts I tried to avoid. The grass was so overgrown at the end of this run,
It's loose.
it nearly yanked my chain right off.
It's not good.
The natural terrain allows for some really big drops in this area of the park too. This guy named Silas showed me some of the other features in the jump part. Yeah, way above my skill level. It was my goal to get at least 10 miles on this day, so I skipped some of the other wood features, like corkscrew, to get back on the trails.
One of my all-time favorite trails here is Twister.
Twister is a nice, flowy trail that covers about 2.5 miles of forest. It's mostly flat, with some faster sections along the way. Before the end, there are 3 punchy climbs followed by quick drops. They're really fun. If you told me there was one Florida trail that I had to ride over and over again for the rest of my life, it would be Twister.
Twister, so good.
As you make your way back to the main parking lot at Santos, be careful at all road crossings.
I mean, you would be so dead if that truck hit you.
That dude was flying, so again, please be careful. There are so many great trails out here. They span miles and miles. It would take too long to list them all and explain their qualities. So I'll be adding links in the description below so you can map out a ride that's perfect for you.
Sick. Fun ride. Just shy of 10. If I would have known that, I would have left the parking lot. Oh well. So I just had a killer 10-mile bike ride. Just shy of 10. I'll call it 10. And the other thing that I really, really love about this area, this exact Santos in Ocala, is this new, fairly new, paved path where a lot of folks take their bikes. You know, they're your typical, like your 10 speed. So you notice, new helmet, new gloves, new ride. Yeah. I don't even remember how fast I could get this thing.
In the very same parking lot for the Santos trailhead, you can find the starting point for a 15-mile-long paved path. This path is popular for hikers, bicyclists, wheelchairs, rollerbladers, and now, one-wheelers.
Yes. Oh man, this thing is fun.
I'm on the Pint, the smaller version of the one-wheel. The Pint has a 6 to 8 mile range on one battery charge. So far, my top speed has been 17 miles an hour. That's getting it on this thing. And it's a workout for your calves.
Ooh. Feel the burn.
You notice I wear knee pads and a helmet. I've taken a few bad falls on the one wheel. Really, it's inevitable. At least with protection, you can brush it off and live to ride another day. But watch those speed wobbles.
I was just talking to Mo because I thought like FaceTiming on the one wheel would be a really good idea. And it was pretty good until I got squirrely on the one wheel and it ended up here. Not here. Here. And for the record, I didn't fall. I sort of did the running dismount. I didn't drop my phone or the GoPro. Winning.
After about 4 miles on the one wheel, I realized I better move on to my next adventure before I really hurt myself out here.
There she is. Yee.
I was deciding between paddleboarding at Rainbow River or at Silver Springs, because Silver Springs is right down the road, but Rainbow River is more like 20 miles. But it's so beautiful, plus you can get in the water, so I need that right now. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Silver Springs is gorgeous. I love kayaking and stand-up paddling there. Plus, you can't beat the wildlife. There are not a lot of places where you can see wild monkeys on your paddle. But on this day, I decided to go for the 20-mile drive right down the road to Denellen so I could stand up paddle the Rainbow River. There are several places you can enter the water along Rainbow River. You have to pay to put in at Rainbow Springs State Park and at KP Hole. Both are great options and have plenty of upside. But I went the free route and put in at Blue Run of Denellen Park. When you get in the water, just make sure you start by heading upstream.
And now we paddle. Yee! Look at this. Ocala, did you know?
For a late afternoon, I was pretty lucky to catch it so calm. The wind tends to pick up later in the day, which can make paddling upstream tough some days. But this was perfect.
You guys see that? A lot of turtles.
This happens to be one of the last weekends people can pay to float in a tube from KP Hole down to Blue Run. Tubing is a seasonal adventure that ends in late September. I found a few families taking advantage.
How's the float going? Nice. Catching it before the end of season, huh? Got to.
Rainbow River is such a special place. The water is clear blue. The bottom is a mixture of sand and grass, which makes for beautiful color combinations from above. On a different trip, Mo put the drone up and got these spectacular views from the springhead at Rainbow River State Park. You can see why it's one of my favorite waterways in the whole state. One of the reasons I head upstream first on this paddle is so I can turn around when I get tired and then just coast back with little effort. That also allows you to take in the scenery. The houses along the banks are cute. You can always decide to jump in and take a dip. The water stays 72 degrees year-round. On your way back to Blue Run, you'll pass under the same little bridge where you started. Then it's just an easy stroll up the boardwalk back to your car. Before you leave the area, I suggest you hit Swampy's just on the other side of the bridge. The location is great, and the food and drinks always seem to taste just right after a long day of adventure. There are a lot of things you can do in the Ocala area of Florida. I chose mountain biking, one-wheeling, and paddleboarding for my day of adventure, but you don't have to stop there. I already mentioned options for horseback riding. There are also a handful of springs really close: Juniper, Alexander, Salt Springs, Silver Springs, and Silver Glen Springs, just to name a few. I've covered many of these springs in my videos, so I'll add links right here and in the description below. You have to check them out. And here's another really fun adventure you can do year-round in Ocala.
Sit down, keep your feet up, and you're flying. Woo!
Zip lining. That's right, you can zip through the treetops, over the lakes, and across the canyons left behind by an old rock quarry. There is plenty of elevation to get your heart pumping.
So I hope you enjoyed a day in the life of all the things that I like to do. I'll have a link to the gear that I use in the description below. Always check that out. There's lots of little tidbits in there, websites, cool little ditties, if you will. And now it's 5:49. I've got a 2-hour and 20-minute ride back to Jacksonville. I'm a little wore out, but hey, let my adventure make your next adventure epic. It's a little bit of stuff that you can do that's not too far away in the state of Florida. So, you know what? All that's left to do is go get it. Go get it. After you hit like and subscribe, then go get it. Love you guys.